Welcome back, people. I'm Zach, and I've actually got some news for you. So, I've moved up to the Isle of Skye, pretty much. It was a very spontaneous decision, and I don't know how long I'll even be here for. Could be a month, could be a year. All I do know is it is for the foreseeable future. And it feels so good to be back out, just in the wilderness, just exploring, you know. And now it's all on my doorstep. It makes it so much easier to actually go out and do the things I love doing, such as hiking, camping, bivvying, bothies, climbing, you name it. And yeah, I've got all of that on my doorstep here. So today it's going to be my first sort of mini adventure out whilst I'm living in Skye, and we're heading to Ollisdal Bothy, which is an old Viking hut on the southwest coast of the island. And so far the views of the walk have been absolutely magnificent. It's about 6 miles in total, and I've heard the going gets pretty tough. It's very boggy, no paths. I don't even have a map, so I am just using my insanely good sense of direction. If you ever go out hiking, please bring a map with you, don't be stupid. So we've experienced every season today practically. It's currently very sunny and quite warm, albeit windy. In the distance, I don't know if you can make out, there is rain and rain clouds. A storm is brewing, so the weather front's meant to hit the west coast at around 4 or 5 p.m, which gives us a couple of hours really. Probably not long enough to get to the Bothy, but a bit of rain has never hurt anyone. And besides, where better to ride out a storm than in a Bothy on the coast, by a fire with a few drinks, like, beautiful. This is mental. So long story short, I decided to follow the coastal path for 2 reasons. The first one is I didn't want to carry maybe a 20 kilo bag across the moors, across the bog, because I'd sink in and it'd be very tough. I thought I'd just do it tomorrow when I got a lighter load, and maybe do some of the smaller hills around the area too. The second reason is I didn't think it would add too much time or too much length to the journey. Whereas in fact, it seems like it's going to have added between 6 and 8 miles to my journey, taking it up to 12 maybe. So that's a bit of a bummer. And I'm walking along the coast now. I'll chuck a few clips on here. And the winds are crazy. It must be 50 mile an hour gusts. With a heavy sack, it's blowing me all over the place. Yeah, it's all an adventure at the end of the day. It's just like, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And there's even a chance for sunset now. It's windy, but the storm front seems to have moved over to the Cooling Mountains, which are just south, well, maybe, yeah, southeast of here. So yeah, we might get a sunset, which I guess obviously a sunset is always a beautiful thing now. The wind did make the going tough. It even took out my camera. However, soon after this disaster, the Bothy came into view, and what a sight it was. I was over the moon. In fact, I was so happy, I even did this bizarre little fast walk to the Bothy. Very strange. Right then. Right, so I'll give you a quick tour of the Bothy then. This is the main room here. See if you can make it. I don't know if you'll be able to make much out of it, but you got the fireplace down here where we will be having our fire later. Waterproofs, fuel. Yeah, more waterproofs that need drying. So this is the main room, as I said. It's alright, this. It's quite nice. Quite nice. We'll get the candles lit up later. I'll have a bottle to add to that collection. Beautiful, beautiful. And then this room in here. So I assume this is where again, you can't really make much out. But this will be where the shepherds come in really bad weather. I mean, I can't imagine being a shepherd out here because it is flipping remote. But apparently they use it. And so, yeah, let's see if you can see. Yeah, dirt floor in this room. Don't really fancy staying there. So luckily, my room. I'll probably, in the evening, I'll move my mat, my sleeping bag across to the fire. So I'm even toastier. But that combo there is absolutely unreal. So the sleeping mat, I don't know what brand it is, I can't remember. But it's a bit of a pain to set up because you have to, it's got a foot pump in it. But for Bothies, it is fantastic because it is like stupidly comfy. I need to get a different one for camping, however. The sleeping bag, however, is a Alpkit down sleeping bag. What's this? It's got the name here. The Alpine Dream 1000. And the 1000 stands for 1000 grams of down. So it's got a kilo of down in it. Comfort rating of like minus 28 degrees Celsius or something. So there's literally, unless you're camping in the Arctic, you are not going to get cold in that thing. And it is unbelievable. But yeah, that's the tour. I'm just going to get the fire going, I think. I'll get the fire at least set up. I'll get the fire set up, actually. To life on Skye, bottle of Prosecco, fire, Bothy, first adventure, whilst living up here, so cheers. Bubbly. The storm rolled in, and so I settled down by the fire for a nice and cosy night. Morning, just woken up. It's about 9, half 9 in the morning. I had a coffee, breakfast, which was just some chocolate because I actually forgot breakfast, and then did the standard Bothy activities: sweep the floor, clean the fireplace out, and fill in the Bothy book, which is a book that's in every bothy. You just write down your experience, what you did, your journey, etc. And yeah, we're about to head off now. It was very stormy last night. Stronger winds than when I was walking. So it was probably about 60, 70 mile an hour gusts. Heard some randy deer, yeah. And that's about it really. I didn't sleep particularly great because I bigged my mat up, didn't I? I bigged my sleeping mat up, and it's actually got a puncture. So it was flat all night. But you know, we keep going. And I went across the bog this morning. I think it's probably going to be pretty horrific, but why not, eh? Why not? It wasn't long until the storm caught up with me. However, the views remained remarkable. So what happens when you don't bring a map? I'm in the right place. It's just quite hard to get to my final destination. I've got to climb down this fairly steep bank through a forest. Yeah. It's an adventure. But to be fair, the rest of the journey back has been very straightforward. The bogs haven't been as boggy as I was anticipating. In fact, it was actually fairly steady going the whole way. It's just this final bit is going to be a bit of a challenge. Once we're through this, then we're done though. That's the end of the trip. What is that? Another flipping fly. I wonder if you can see that on the thing. There's a fly just crawling across my face, man. I need to get going before I get eaten alive anyways. So I made it out of the forest and back onto the track to my car. So yeah, that brings to a close my first adventure whilst living up on the Isle of Skye. I hope you've enjoyed it. Personally, I thought it was great. I loved every minute of it. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one.